This episode of Talkin' About Rock is sponsored by Unleashed Music. Drawing on years of experience, contacts, and partnerships, Unleashed Music is uniquely positioned to platform, develop, and realize the vision of artists of all genres. Achieve your goals by partnering with Unleashed Music and take advantage of their decades of experience to help you create and execute your marketing campaign. Visit unleashedmusic.com for more info.
Welcome to this episode of Talking About Rock. I'm Rob Edwards. Here we bring you rock interviews from veteran and upcoming artists. Subscribe on our YouTube channel to stay up to date. Follow us on our social media and our website, talkingaboutrock.com. Today we have for you a band formed in 2013, NightShift Special. In 2019, they released their 5-song EP produced by Brian Wheat, Tesla's founding member and bassist. They are back with a new single, Blackout, which combines their rock and roll party style, choreographed dance moves, and blazing guitar licks. Next up, Chase Engel from NightShift Special on Talking About Rock. Okay, let's welcome Chase Engel from NightShift Special to the show. Hello, Chase.
How's it going, brother?
Man, your music is like a rock and roll party with James Brown's moves, man. Tell us how this started, man.
How the band started, or how the show started, or what do you want to know?
Little bit of whatever, man. Just give us a little bit of some of your background, a little bit, because, like I was saying, your shows look amazing, man.
Thanks. Yeah. When I was younger, when I was like, I don't know, maybe 10, I had seen somebody do the moonwalk on TV, and this was before the days where you could rewind. But I just seen him do a small thing, and I was like blown away. I had never seen Michael Jackson do it or anything like that. And my dad was like, "Oh, that's the moonwalk," and I'm like, I didn't know what that was.
Right.
And this was kind of right as the internet was coming out, so you couldn't look up videos or anything like that. So I started trying to do it, and I had just the moonwalk. I was like 10, 11. I started trying to do it. And then I kind of figured it out. I did okay. I kind of figured it out. And it was fun as I progressed to kind of watch in the mirror, and it looked cool. And I was showing people, and they were like, wow. And then about a year after that, the internet came about, YouTube and stuff came about. And I wound up looking up like a tutorial. And then a guy showed me how to do it. And then within, 5 minutes, because I'd already been trying to do it, I could do it. And then in the 7th grade, this is before I was playing music. And so I'm not like a dancer. I don't consider myself that. I don't know.
Well, this is just something you learned over time. Nothing like that you
trained on or
I
didn't go
like
like
that,
trained, or it's not something I was like trying to take really seriously. And but I did this thing when I started playing guitar. I'd only been playing for maybe a year or so, and it was like almost kind of like a talent show thing for the school, and I did it. And my dad was like, I did like a compilation of songs, and my dad was like, right at the end, he was probably drunk when he told me this, but it's where all the great ideas come from. But he's like, right at the end, just like turn sideways and just do like a 4-step moonwalk. And this is like in front of the school, and I'm in like 6th, 7th grade, so I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do that. Like, that's not. He's like, dude, just for me, just do it.
And I'm like,
a
little pizzazz, leave him.
Yeah,
you gotta leave him wanting a little bit more, right?
Yeah, and I was like, no, man. I was like, that's gonna just not be cool.
Right. You're a little shy about that. Like, what if I mess it up?
No, I wasn't worried about that. Because I had been doing it at that point in time for like 5 years. I was like, no, it's just not. In front of all my school. I'm like, oh, that's gonna come off so cheap. My dad's like, dude, just do it. So I was like, I'm not going to. And I told him I wasn't. And then I did. So just at the end of this minute-long thing, I did. I spun inside as I was kind of playing, and just did like a 3-4 stepper. and like everybody was just, it was crazy, right? Everybody just like lost it. So then it was in that moment that I kind of realized, like, wow, they love the tunes and stuff. You know, the show. I mean, I wasn't writing tunes or anything back then, just playing. They like the
Right.
music, but the show really got them there. Because I'd only been playing a year or so, but I was doing like a little piece of Eruption and stuff, and they were into that. But when I did that little moonwalk bit, it was game over. So from there, it was just kind of like, I wanted to incorporate that. But music for me is very dancing in general. So um, I think a lot of people think it's more forced than it is. I think a lot of people think it's something that I'm making myself do in order for the audience. I mean, when some of it is, you know what I mean? I am that's but um music in general feels very dancey for
Right. It's
me.
just more the energy and the party and how you're
Yeah, and
feeling
then
up
and
there.
then we started to and then right when we kind of first started, my dad was like, "It'd be really cool if you guys came out in suits or something." I'm like, "No, no, again, we're not going to do that."
Looking a
He's like,
little bit
"Just
classy is
just do
never a
it."
bad thing. Never a
I'm
bad
like, "All
thing.
right." So we did it, and it kind of went over pretty well. And he's like, "I don't, it's not for everybody." I'm surprised we haven't um gotten more flack for it than we have. I mean, there's been a couple shows that we've been kind of uh on like metal shows with like metal bands.
Hmm.
I don't know how we were on those shows or who decided to put us on those shows, but we were playing with like some hardcore like metal bands, and I remember going in like, these guys are gonna be like, what is going on
Right. You're
here
going to
with
be
this
like, get them
guy?
off the stage or
Yeah, what is
something. Right.
this?
Right.
Every time I'm talking, he's just
Right.
they would come off and they'd be like, dude, we loved it. We love what you did. That was fun. And I was like, wow, like I'm surprised we haven't actually gotten more, pushback on it.
Right.
Everybody, I mean,
It's cool to have that difference between the two acts a lot of times. You know what I mean? Sometimes that works out well.
yeah, yeah. I just, I mean, we've caught some flack for it online, which it doesn't matter what you do,
Yeah,
you're
there's
gonna
always going to
get,
be some of those people that
yeah,
that'll troll you or whatever. So
yeah.
you've
And
mentioned
I
it a
love
little.
it.
Yeah,
I love that.
definitely very cool. Yeah, you mentioned it a little bit earlier. So you worked with Brian Wheat from Tesla for a bit on a great cover of Elton John's Rocket Man, and I think he put together like an EP for you. Tell
Yeah.
us a little bit about that if you can, doing that.
Yeah, so we actually did two EPs with Brian. So when I was like 18, I had gotten like kind of quasi signed, maybe not quite. We were in kind of talks, not with Brian, with another um record label, and they had not a big one, but they had a few decent bands, and I went to New York City to do that, and they had given me a full album, and then after that they were like, "Oh, we got bought out. We're not going to do anything with you. Like, we liked you. The other company, they're even cutting artists we signed. Nothing's going to happen here." So
Okay.
I had this full album, designed a band around that, and then about 2 years after that, we were playing some of those songs, and Brian from Tesla was running this like worldwide search for. He was doing a TV show. They were making a TV show that was supposed to, not only help promote his studio that he had in Sacramento, which was an amazing studio. I mean, Tesla recorded there, Def Leppard recorded there, Papa Roach. It was like a millions of dollar, multi-million dollar studio. He was buddies with this production guy, and they were going to do a series or something of what it was going to be like for a band to come in and work, and the ups and the downs
Like a
and
reality
writing.
type of thing with
Yeah,
the
yeah,
studio.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they were going to do that. So um he put out this thing online. He's like, "Yeah, we're looking for the next big rock band." I forget what it was called. And my buddy, the bass player at the time, who was a huge Tesla fan, seen it. Tesla had shared it. "Hey, young bands, enter this thing." He called me here at the house. Jason did, the bass player, and said, "Hey, I'm going to enter this thing for us." And I said, "Okay." I mean, you're not going to hear anything back, but yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
So I
give it a
remember,
shot.
you just do it. We enter so much stuff like that. Like, bands do that with like Warped Tour and put your video here. I'm like, sure, go do it, but you're not going to hear anything. Literally, he hung the phone up, sent it to him. He calls me 15 minutes later and he's like, yo, they got right back to me. They called me immediately and they said that Brian had seen it and it was the production guy, that Brian had seen it and liked the suits and stuff. I mean, what we were doing then was really crude. I mean, not that we're, Temptations now, but we've definitely refined it a bit. What we were doing then was very crude. But he was like, no, he thinks there's a diamond in the rough there. So we started doing all kinds of stuff, sending him videos and trying to get into this thing. Well, there was like, I forget how many bands. There was like 2,500 bands or something that entered this. Yeah, no, it was a lot. Like worldwide. It was worldwide. They were bands from England and they were calling. They had a deadline. It was part of the show. It was called you can still look it up. It's on YouTube. Big Break Session is what it was called with Brian Wheat. They did release it online, but they called and they said, all right, it's between you and one other band. This is the day before. I had not talked to Brian at all during this time. We had been doing this for about 6 months, or at least a couple months, going back and forth. I was dealing with his production. I had not talked to Brian. They were like, no, he loves you. It's going to be the day before they made the decision, which they filmed. It was all part of their thing. No, it's going to be you guys. They were like, we're having a chef come in to cook for you guys. Like, do you have any allergies? I mean, they're just like, you're the one, you're in.
Right. They wanted to make it dramatic and really have a build up.
Yeah. So they're like, you're in, you're the guys, whatever. I'm like, oh, cool. So we're like high five and they're like, just tune in tomorrow and he's going to watch the videos live. And then he's going to say, so we did it. And I remember they had like some technical issue while he's watching us, it like went down. And then we were sitting at the drummer's house, like, what do we do now? We didn't hear anything for like 5 hours, 3 hours, 4 or 5 hours. They called because they're in California. We're here. They called and the production guy was like, man, it was really close, but we're going to go with this other band. And we were like, no, what you told? Like, we already told everybody that we're flying to California. We're doing this thing. They're like, yeah, no, it's not going to be you. So
right. They were just they were trying to build it up as much as possible.
Well, I think Brian was pretty much dead set on us being it, and the production team wanted to go with this other band. But then after that, the production guy called me and said, hey, well, Brian, even though you're not going to be on the show, is still interested in working with you. So we were sending all kinds of videos and I didn't hear anything from him. And it kind of went away. Like I hadn't heard anything in about a year. And I wound up on like a Saturday, I was sitting here drinking a couple beers and I was like, I'm just going to find Brian's email, like his personal email. And I'm just going to message him like, hey, it's me from that band. What's up? I found his email somehow through the magic of the internet, sent him a message, and he got right back to me. He's like, oh, yeah, I remember you. Your band was cool. I'd like to do something with you. Well, then I was emailing him back. He didn't message me at all. He never got back to me. So I'm like, all right. So they were actually playing, making a long story longer here. They were actually playing in Saginaw. I did everybody like, yeah, he does that. They were playing in Saginaw. And when they came to Saginaw, the day they were here, I sent him another email. I had sent him a bunch of emails, but I sent him another email and said, hey, man, good luck tonight. I just want to let you know, Chase again. I said, hey, we're going to be there. Good luck. I'll see you there or for whatever. I left my phone number. I was at work. I worked at Applebee's at the time. And I literally walk out and I'm at a table and my phone in my pocket is ringing. And I pulled it out just slightly because I thought it might be him. And it said Sacramento, California. And I literally told the people, I was like, hold that thought. I got to take this. And they're looking at me like, I'm like, hey, I got to leave. Like, I just walked away like a dealer at the casino. Like, I walked away.
Tapping out.
And it's Brian from Tesla on the other end. He's like, hey, man. He's got the California accent. Chase. He's like, you want to do something with me? And I'm like, yeah, dude, that's right. He goes, all right. He goes, hey, why don't you bring the band and your family and stuff to the show tonight? And I'll have backstage passes and tickets for you.
Very nice of him. Very nice.
That was like one of the greatest days of my life. It was just mind blowing. Then because I had never done anything like that. I went up to the will call and they were like, here's your passes and all this. It was, I hope everybody gets, every band gets experience, or every person gets experience that once. It felt so cool to go up there. Everybody's paying, and I'm like, nope. I'm like,
Nope,
from
VIP.
Wayne's
Yeah.
World, yeah. Oh, I got the Tesla, and it was awesome. And then I mean, we've been we were with them for about 7 years. We did two EPs with him, and the second one did have Rocket Man on it. He came in when we released the first EP. He came in. He flew in from California and came to the show, which was a lot of fun. And because people like knew who he was, like, oh, the guys from Tesla. It was a big deal. We were a big deal back then around here. We were like, everybody knew we were with Tesla. And, but we just did Rocket Man as just a cover, just because I wanted the crowd to sing, and I did a long intro on it because I wanted the band to change suits. So they went back, changed suits, came back out. It was a fun thing. And he was after that. He was like, "Yo, we got to do that song, Rocket Man." I was like, "No, that's just a thing." He's like, "No, man, that we got to do it." So that's where that came from. But yeah, I
Yeah,
could have made that 2 minutes, but I like to drag everything out.
it's all good, man. Yeah, that was very, very cool. I thought it was a very cool video, definitely, And so now let's get up to date where you're at now. So you have a new track out called Blackout. So tell us a little bit about the new track here. I really, really like it. I've been playing it and streaming it last couple days. Very cool.
Thank you. Yeah, we hadn't done anything in a while because when we had left Brian, we wanted to change the direction big time. Um, Brian had kind of a different idea of what he thought that the band should be. He wanted us to be a little more poppy because I think he thought like the suits and stuff that would fit more. I don't blame him for that, but we wanted to get a little more grungy, a little more raw. And I always been a big fan of like Kid Rock and Beastie Boys and Guns N' Roses and that kind of high, welcome to that kind of high paced, energetic rock. And so Connor and I, the guitar player, started writing songs. And we did a different song that is similar to Blackout, very rap rocky. And we wound up getting picked up by the producer Joel Hamilton, who had done the Black Keys and Highly Suspect. So I went back to New York City, recorded that song. I kind of started sending it out. And then our manager, Gina, wanted seeing it. And she hit me up and was like, I don't really manage bands, but I really want to work with you guys. So then and this was a couple years ago. So what I'm getting to here is that, it's been a while since and we didn't really know. We had some label interest. So we were kind of waiting for a release. And then finally we said, well, we don't think a label's going to give us the deal we want with low numbers and not have done anything in 3 years, 4 years. So we had to put something out, and we went through the catalog of songs. We thought this one was the one we wanted to lead with. About the song, I don't know. I hate that question. Not blaming you. It's you can't answer it like how what we, because there are songs that we have, like we have a ballad
Right.
that we haven't released. I don't know if Gina
Right.
sent you that. Like that song has a lot of meaning to it. That
Yeah.
had a specific, story that I could tell you. This is exactly what happened. With Blackout, people are like, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, I was, drinking and smoking. I was like, oh, I want to do this thing where I'm like rapping and the band's doing this. And, it was just this. I actually heard a mashup song. I'm not going to tell you what, but I heard this mashup. And I took it to Con and I said, I want to do a song just like this. So him and I kind of deconstructed with the elements that we loved in that song and wrote one based around that. And it's a hip hop song, which is a lot of the influence of what we do. Like this hip hop kind of just straightforward was out of the 90s. And I was like, man, I really want to do a song like this. Oh, that's where it came from. I mean, just wanting to, well, our other songs were kind of halftime. The kind of rap rock thing, they were a little more halftime, like Ball with the Ball by Kid Rock, like doom da doom doom da. We wanted to do something double time, doom da doom da, driving straight forward. So we had a few of those, the more halftime ones, the more groove rock. We were like, no, we want something straightforward. A lot of times we write these songs too based on what we want for the live show. And I know that might sound weird. Like a lot of people, maybe just think you just sit down and write, which we do. But I was like, no, we need like a fast one to open the show with or something there.
Yeah,
so we
you
wrote this one.
always should be thinking of how it's going to look and feel live. Definitely. That should definitely be in there for sure.
Right. And, and I'd like to say like our live show is almost more like a play than it is a set. And I think some bands do design their sets that way. Some don't. It's fine either way. Some bands are like, I'm sure Nirvana was probably not worried about, the exact ebb and flow. They were just like, no, get up. And that works for a band like that. For us, with kind of some of the choreography, I mean, it's not a full play. We're not like going like sticks like Mr. Roboto or anything or doing anything like that. But we're trying to have an ebb and flow and a fast one and a half that, just working that out. I'm pretty good at that. That's one of my strong suits. I wish I was stronger in other areas, like, singing, but no, I'm pretty good at that, like designing a set. So yeah, that's kind of where that came from.
Yeah, very cool. I really like the track a lot, like I said. So we're going to take a quick break here, and we'll check out the video and song for Blackout, and we'll be right back here with Chase Engel on Talking About Rock. Okay, we're back here on Talking About Rock. Just checked out the track Blackout, which is so cool, man. I'm really digging that. So, and I was checking out some of your dates. You guys got some live dates booked already. So let's see, we got April 24th, 2025, Walleye Fest, Freeland, Michigan, with our friends Tantric. They're on the show way back when. So say hello to them for us if you would.
With
Uh,
Tantric.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And then May 2nd, you have District 142 in Detroit, Michigan with Filter, which
Yeah.
is looking like a very, very cool show.
We hope so.
Yeah. Then you got July 4th, Winona Park with Wrecking Crew. Another awesome show that should
That one will
be.
be packed. Yep.
That'll be very cool. And July 25th, you got in Saginaw there, The Vault with Gunshine. I've just been
Sunshine.
hearing a little bit about them. That
Up and
sounds.
coming guys, right? They're two steps ahead of where we are, but we're looking to guys, I'm trying to set goals here. I look at a band like that and I say, no, we can, I see what you did. That's kind of where we're trying to trend. But yeah, there's guys are getting out there. They're way cool out of Florida.
Yeah, so you guys are mixing it up here with a little bit of everything. Very, very cool. And the other one I see you have booked is August 15, Masonic Temple in Michigan. It's a local showcase there for you going on.
That'll be way cool. We just played there about a month ago, and it was over 300 people there. I'm not sure. There was probably over 500 during the day. And it's going to be a similar show, but we have a pretty good local draw, so those are always really fun.
Awesome. Yeah. So you say you got some other songs going on, or we're going to see some more releases from you? Is there going to be a complete album type of thing, or what's kind of the plan? Are you still working on that a little bit?
I don't know. I mean, we've had some label interest. So ideally, what we'd like to do is really blow this song up and then hopefully strike some sort of deal so that we can take the songs that we have and just use the label resources to release those. Self-releasing is really hard. It's really hard, especially when we've done decent in the past, but we're not a big band yet. And it's hard to get people to hear the stuff. And I know that sounds crazy, but it really is. It's hard. It's hard to get a mass amount of people to hear.
Yeah,
To
original
hear your
bands
tone.
have such a difficult time, I think, even more so nowadays. Even though there's so many more avenues, right, to get that out there, you know what I mean, with the streaming and YouTube and all, there's more of that, but it still seems there's so many more acts and so many more bands. It's just flooded with that stuff. So it's kind of hard to get that out there, I think, harder nowadays.
It's super hard. I remember Brian from Tesla telling us, he's like, you're trying to do this in the hardest time. He's like, it was always hard. He's like, it wasn't easy for us when Tesla came out. He's
Right,
like, but
right. But they had a
now,
label to push them when the
well, and
songs.
get it breaking into those labels was different back then.
Yeah,
A
when
label
their
looked,
songs start to hit, then they got the push. You know what I mean? They're still working their day jobs, and then they got the call to say, "Okay, you're opening for Cinderella or whoever,"
yeah,
and they're
yeah.
like when it finally hit. But
And the industry's changed so much. Like back then, when a label was looking for a band, they could go into a bar because that's the only way they would discover bands, either that or hearsay. They would go into a bar and see, you've heard those stories of like U2 or whomever, where the record label guy comes in and sees them and there's no one there. And the A&R guy goes, no, that was awesome. We will sign you. Today, the odds of a label doing that are like 0.001%. Like they're just not
yeah, so it's
the
all about
game,
the
what they're
numbers now.
looking for. Yeah, what they're looking for in a band is totally different. So hopefully doing things like your show, will help us get the word out there, send people to the Spotify. It's on Spotify now. We get the full vid on YouTube. We're on all platforms, whatever you're into. We're on it, hopefully.
Yeah. So I know I don't think you guys have a website, but if they want to check out more stuff on you, they should check you out like on Facebook and your socials and that, or
Yeah, we used to have a website, and I don't know. They want to find you. They trust me. You look up NightShift Special. You can find us somewhere.
yeah, definitely. Some very, very cool stuff. We look forward to more stuff coming out from you guys. Like I said, I really like the new track, man. Best of luck with that. Best of luck with your shows.
Thank you. Thank
Yep.
you.
So that wraps up this episode of Talking About Rock. Thank you to my guest today, Chase Engel from NightShift Special. And we
Thank you.
hope you folks out there are keeping the torch alive and supporting live music wherever you are. Chase, again, thanks, man.
Thank you. Thank you.